On day 23, we'll take our deepest excursion into the park. We'll go to mile 66, the Eielson Visitor Center, right at the base of the Denali Center. We're going to see a lot of grizzly bears today. Then we'll return to the entrance to the park. We'll go see a dog sled demonstration. After that, we'll go back to town and eat a little lunch, and then come back into the park in the afternoon to drive to Savage Creek before going back to the hotel for the night. This is a section of the park that we'll be covering today. It's going to be a very rainy and cloudy day and not very good visibility. We'll be going to Eielson on the green buses this time. These are the shuttle buses that carry people back and forth around the park. And it's time to get on board our bus. It'll be cold and rainy most of the time along the way and not very good for looking out windows.
You'll see a parking lot coming up ahead on our right. We have a couple of really great trails.
Since it's been raining all day long, the rivers are flowing fairly well.
Yesterday and today, so it's quite full. But it's great for
In Sable Pass there in the distance, those are Dial sheep.
on the right side of the bus are going to be lovely to look at. And in about 10 minutes we'll get to the top. That'll be our photo stop.
As we climb up towards Polychrome Pass there in the valley is a grizzly bear, our first one we've seen while here in Denali on our trip, and it's rather far off. But then as we look to our right, there's a mother bear and her cub up on the hill right beside the bus, just a few feet away. This gives you a good idea of how close it is on the road here sometimes. And remember, this is a two-way road. Finally, we make it to the top of Polychrome Pass, but it's raining, so we don't take many pictures. As we head down into the valley below, there's our first caribou of the day. And now we've reached mile 66 at Eielson Visitor Center at the base of Mount Denali. This is close as you can come to Mount Denali without climbing it, and there outside the window is the spectacular view of the mountain. Well, somewhere in the fog and rain, there he is. This is what it looks like on a clear day, but since only 1 out of 10 days are clear days, they've drawn an outline of the mountain on the window, as you can see, and so here's where it would have been. We'd intended to walk some trails here, but since it's so rainy and foggy we can't see anything, so we decided to go back on the same bus we came on instead of catching a later bus. And there in the fog and mist are some more caribou. Further along, we come to a small herd of caribou. Then up on the mountain, somebody spots a grizzly bear. No, wait, there are 3, a mother and 2 cubs. Eventually we'll see there, high up on the mountain, feeding on the various berries and vegetation there. With the windows glazed over with mud and fog, we won't be taking many pictures on the way back. As we stop at the Teklanika rest site, way over on a mountain, there's another dog sheep by itself. Probably a ram. And along the road we see some more Willow Ptarmigans. This one's changing its color from brown to white. And our last wildlife sighting of this trip will be a northern hawk owl up on top of a tree beside the road. After getting off the bus, we get in our car and we head to the dog sled demonstration so Deborah can pet the dogs. As it continues to rain and be generally bad weather, we head into town. Once we get into town, we'll go to Eat at the Bake, the oldest building in the town. It's been here so long, it's settled many different times, and the floors are just totally cockeyed and unlevel. In the evening, we decide, in spite of the rain, we're going to go back into the park and look for some more wildlife. We're very surprised when we find right in the middle of the parking lot at the visitor center, with hundreds of cars coming and going, a moose and her calf calmly eating on the browse there in one of the medians. As we head up to the Savage River, we notice some of the streams that had been totally dry are now pouring water through, because of all the rain we've been having. And then we arrive at the Savage River trailhead for our last time before heading back to the hotel. Tomorrow we head to Anchorage. Along the way back to the hotel, we noticed that there are volunteers out exercising the sled dogs that we saw this morning.
I am so glad Deborah finally saw some grizzly bears in the wild. At the park meeting this morning, they told us that we all had to be out so that Deborah could see us. I hope she enjoyed seeing me right there beside the road with my cub. We waited around most of the morning since we were not sure which bus she would be on. Glad you could see the rest of the bears also. And such a spectacular view of Denali. Well, not really. The great one is rarely seen, but it was there. Well, have a good night's sleep. You head to Memories in Anchorage tomorrow.
And this brings us to the end of day 23.